All right, let's talk about Boosie, man. He was in court yesterday, and we found out he is pleading, guilty to the gun charge. It was the case where he pretty much had a state charge. They dropped it. As soon as he walked out of court, the feds picked it up. That's what they typically do because he was a felon, in possession of a firearm. Now, Boosie, I'm going to tell you, he seemed pretty, it's when you got something hanging over your head for years like that, that you got to think about constantly, the outcome. There's a sense of relief when you finally know, all right, let's just get this behind me. Now, the scary part about this is that Boosie is facing up to 15 years in prison. He could get 15 years maximum. I'm not going to say I don't think he's going to get that. I don't know. My gut feeling is he won't get anywhere near that. He may get, 3 to 6. If I had to guess, and I was a betting man, I would say 3 to 6. But he's facing a maximum of 15 years in prison. And again, there's a certain solace or a, knowing, all right, it's over with now. And once he gets sentenced, he'll feel that again. Especially if it's like, 4 years. Like, all right, that's all I got to go ahead and do. It is what it is, right? Let me get this over with. You're going back to court. You have this and that. You're paying lawyers. You want to get that shit over with. So I feel him on that. One thing, another aspect of this that I talk about is the whole thing where it's just like, if you're the judge, you kind of have to look at this like, all right, this man has been shot at multiple times. He kind of needs to carry a gun. Forget what that he's a felon and all that. He needs it. Now, the judge can come back and say, all right, why don't you just do it responsibly? Get armed security. And that's a legitimate, reason. That's legitimate. I can't argue with that. There has to be a certain level of responsibility that has to be, exercised with these guys, and not always, just walking around with the blicky. Sometimes you got to just get the security and avoid prison time, because 4 or 5 years in prison is going to hurt you and your family financially. Unless you like Jay-Z and one of these guys that got all types of, billions of dollars, and you ain't got to ever lift your finger for generations, it's going to hurt you. So that's the sad part. And, hopefully the judge can weigh and see, all right, look, yeah, he had the gun, but he wasn't about to shoot nobody. He was using it for protection. He was a little irresponsible by not having armed security, yes, but all right, this is what I'm going to do for you. Don't do it again. Here's 2.5 years. Here's 3 years. Here, whatever, he's going to give, Boosie. I don't want to see him get roofed, though. I don't want to see him get roofed. Oh, they moved that out of there? Wow. And hit my man with 15 years. I don't want to see that. You know what I'm saying? That'll be harsh. I know you got people out there praying that it happens to him. That's something I'm not really praying for. Because ultimately, I think he's a good man, a good dude, and the ultimate product of his environment. But that doesn't mean you need to make bad decisions either. So that's my thoughts. Boosie is facing he could get sentenced to 15 years. We'll know soon. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I definitely appreciate y'all listening in. Hit the thumbs up on the video, meaning the like button. It looks like this. I appreciate y'all. Peace.